Hi, and welcome back. This is the Pablo Acuña story. I am your host, Jack City, and you are looking at an Excel spreadsheet that I've been carefully curating, over these last 9 seasons that you've watched me play on YouTube. Now, let's just kind of peruse around and see what we've kind of seen, what we learned, everything else. So let's just start with the teams here. So as of 2032, the most recent season that just concluded, we got Peñarol as the winners. The cup was Montevideo City, and Defensor Sporting obviously won the Super Cup. We already covered that. Relegated sides, Deportivo Maldonado, Fenix, and Racing all went down. Tacuarembó, Rampla, and Rocha, actually the first, I think this is the first team, no, Colón de Montevideo, but so second team to ever get promoted that was previously not, when the game started, they were not loaded in because the only top 2 leagues of Uruguay are loaded in my save file. So therefore, Rocha came up from whatever tier they came from, went to the second tier, and then was able to get through. So just again, Rocha's not even here. This is their first season. They're bopping around. They're actually now making playoffs. They had a really rough season there, and then they popped in. So good for them. Really good. Albion is, the next edition of the double relegation team. Uruguay, Montevideo popped up and then went right back down. Whatever. So I mean, nothing too spectacular about the points totals from last season, really. And same with here, pretty average. Peñarol wiped the map, as you can see. You can usually kind of tell who won the league this year based on, it's Wanderers, Nacional, Peñarol, Nacional, Defensor, Peñarol. You can kind of tell who won, based on that. But yeah, pretty interesting. I will say is one of the things that, just in terms of these here, Rampla Juniors actually got the trifecta in terms of the awards of top goal scorer, player of the year, and the young player of the year, which is interesting. That's never happened before. Not even close here. Nacional got denied here, the young player of the year with Defensor Sporting. And then Peñarol, player of the year, even though there was top goal scorer, young player, and best rookie. Defensor Sporting denied them and then did it again with the best rookies. And Defensor Sporting again denied. Actually, they've been the denier, if you will, 4 times this save. Oh my God. So no one got fired. That's usually the first thing down there. But I mean, look, Danubio finished at the very top. So I'll say that. Danubio finished at the very top. Peñarol actually finished 4th and won out in the through the playoffs. They beat Danubio twice. They beat it in the playoff because they won the closing stage, and then they beat, the overall championship over 2 legs. So they technically kind of beat Danubio over 3 games to win the title. Nacional had a horrific season, 6th place. It is the worst finish they've had in the entire save so far. Liverpool, as you can see, is pretty much 8th and above at any point, so nothing really crazy. Peñarol won the title. However, this is their 2nd worst finish in the overall table. Wanderers, pretty much right where they always are. Defensor Sporting, pretty much the last 5 years have kind of been the same, except for the 2 title wins. But the 3 teams that are at the bottom. I mean, Deportivo Maldonado, Fenix, and Racing. The 3 teams that went up went back down. Cerro Largo have obviously been struggling since they came up 2 years ago. Cerro is pretty much constantly in the mid-table with Boston River. River Plate as well, myself, my 3 finishes, in 8th, 9th, and 7th. So we're right in that fixed little pack right there in the, above mid-table, let's say. Miramar Misiones, basically have been in the same bandwidth as well. So I would put us right now. I would put us in the bandwidth of like a Uruguayan Cup eligible team. We're going to be able to possibly go through the Continental and play. We're not hitting that next tier where we're actually going to be starting to compete titles. Nacional still has that capacity, Peñarol, and then I would say Defensor Sporting now. They just have they've shown it over 5 seasons that they are that dog. So yeah, I mean if Nacional finish, I'd say like maybe another 2 seasons, I would start to doubt whether they are possible. But they just had an off year so far. But yeah, I mean, nobody was able to win Copa Libertadores, Sudamericana, or the Recopa, but that's okay. And yeah, I mean, just overall, like just in terms of like the best point totals, again, it's still Defensor Sporting here, 94, 93. The previous one is 92 in Nacional and also 90. So there you go. And then also for the second tier, or the second tier of Uruguayan soccer, the best are, I think it's 77. Rampla Juniors' very first season was the best. And actually, Juventud de los Piedras actually put up like another record total and didn't win the title. They tied Progreso when they won the title. And also, so they're like tied for third, even though Juventud didn't win that year. And then my second place finish for like most points in the second tier, 74 points. So all that's to be said. Just kind of going through all of this. First division, Defensors got 2, Nacional's got 4, Peñarol's got 2, and Wanderers got 2. Nice, kind of even spread against like some of the bigger teams that are up here. Peñarol probably should have more titles, but whatever. Uruguay Cup definitely is a lot more evenly spread. Nacional does not have one. Peñarol have 2 so far. Liverpool have got 2, and Danubio have 2. Defensor, Cerrito, when they won, miraculously. Montevideo City just won their first one, and Wanderers also got one. The Uruguayan Super Cup, we do not have a winner because that's one of the first games that's played. We don't have a winner yet in the save, but we will soon. Deportivo Maldonado have won 3 second divisions. They basically, the only time they come up is when they win the league. So congrats. However, you've been relegated 4 times. And it's crazy too, because their trophy count is 3. I mean, Nacional's got 7. So it's like, but Maldonado's trophy count is like actually getting up there. I mean, Defensor, Peñarol, and Wanderers only have more trophies than they do. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy when you think about it like that. But Albion has gotten a second division title. Miramar Misiones, Progreso, Racing. Racing's been up and down so often. I'm actually kind of stunned they've only won 1 league title the entire time. Yeah, that's actually really weird. They just like always got the automatic promotion or the playoff promotion. Villa Española, like miraculously, that was a huge upset. Tacuara Rimbaud. Yeah. Anyways, the promotions here, let me just go sort these. Why don't I make it a little easier? Tacuara Rimbaud, 5 promotions, 4 relegations, and then opposite being for Racing. Yeah, and then Deportivo 3 and 4, 3 and 2 for Rampla. I mean, you could see like there's a good chunk of these guys who are really just like the yo-yo teams right here. So Juventud has not been, up and around for a while. They got double relegated, and it's kind of they've been down there ever since. Miramar, they yo-yoed for a hot second, but they're now in the first division at the expense of Phoenix, by the way. And Cerro Largo also went too. So that's interesting. Albion have got a ton of relegations because they've been relegated a couple times from the second division so far. But a bunch of teams have all popped up there, but they've just went right back down, like quite a few times, honestly. And yeah, that's it. The relegations, hold on, I'm going to go largest here. Tacuarembó, yeah. Albion, Uruguay, Montevideo, they've been relegated a few times. Absolutely. Look at that. Plaza Colonia. Basically, every time Plaza Colonia comes up, they go right back down. I think they were the first team. They were the first team that was started in the first division, and they got relegated completely out of the FM save. They got relegated from the first to the second, and then the second to the third. But basically, ever since, every time they pop back in, they get relegated right back down. So that's how you get to 4. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. First division team of the year. Peñarol, first division play of the year, 5, top goal scorer, 3. I mean, they're racking up the personal accolades out of their players. Defensive Sporting young player of the year, always. 5 seasons out of 9 is like pretty dominant, honestly. So Peñarol should be proud. Player of the year 5 times out of 9 seasons. Best rookie of the year 4 times, Defensive Sporting. This is the team of the year nominations. You wouldn't be so. It's not too crazy to say Nacional is racking it up. They got 37 compared to Peñarol's 28, and Defensive Sporting. I could zoom in here for you. Defensive Sporting, 19. Yeah, like Wanderers 11. I mean, and then we got a handful here. Liverpool's a good team. They popped in with a couple, here and there. River Plate got the 1. I was able to get Juan Pablo Reyes in there for 1 team of the year nomination. So that was kind of nice. The overall best 11, I'll just show you that. Years in the first division, obviously. Points earned in the first division as well. Is this yeah, okay. This is okay. These are the points earned in the first division. You can see Nacional is just 60 points ahead. So maybe it's kind of getting to a point where it's like a full season almost of points ahead. Española, they've only spent 1 season and they got 12 points. The worst showing I think we've seen in the first division. And my River Plate right now 538 points. What does that make us? We're 6th place for points at the moment. But yeah, I mean, that feels right though. That feels right. We've always been, River Plate has always been like right at the, the top half. Everybody else will have maybe 2 off seasons. River Plate's like always been right there. So yeah, I'm about right. Going further on, second division play of the year. I mean, because if you typically get these awards, you're going up, so it's a lot harder to accrue them like you can in the first. Miramar Misiones got 1. I think I was able to win that for us. Top goal scorer is 3 times. That's wild. Maldonado, young player of the year, as well as Juventud. And let's see the points in the second division here. Rentistas, of course, 9 years in the second division. This is a team that's consistently in the playoffs and never wins. So that's what this looks like. They just cannot put it together. Bella Vista, I mean, unbelievably horrific season. 1 year, 12 points. That was the first ever year of the save. I don't know what to do. This is definitely wrong. There's definitely not 36. So I don't know. I'll figure that out later. Let's see here. Nacional. So these, to remind you, place points is the idea that basically let me just show you instead here. Okay, so you can see that you got like first place to 16th place, right, in the first division, and then in the second division you get first to 14th, right? So all together you can see it's 30 points. So you would get 30 points for finishing in first, 1 point for finishing last in the second division. So you accrue points basically by that. So as you can see, Nacional clearly the highest amount, 286, Peñarol 280, not really that surprising. And the thing is too is that it's hard to create a gap here because obviously if you're if you're finishing first, the other person finishes behind you, 1 place behind you, you only get 1 point on them in the place points. So it really kind of illustrates like how close people are, respectively. Now you got like a little half step right now because Defensor Sporting is starting to catch up. So you got a little half, it's 6 points. So it's the same distance at Peñarol to Defensor as, Peñarol to Nacional. But then you got a not 10 point, but it's an 11 point gap between them and Liverpool, right? And then, or Wanderers, sorry. And then this Liverpool. Then you get another that's a fat gap right there. You kind of got us here. River Plate, 6 points away. It's Boston River. Then you got Cerro. All these guys are about the same. Cerro, Danubio, Montevideo City. And then you drop another like echelons, Progresso, again, like I would akin them to kind of like a Bournemouth right now. They're a much smaller team than everybody else. However, they continuously overperform. They actually just respectively, but they're not getting relegated. They're a consistently good team now. And they deserve to be in this kind of little half measure where they're not the size of Danubio, Montevideo City, and Cerro at the moment in this respect, but they've definitely separated themselves. And Phoenix, look at that. A couple seasons out of the top flight, you can start losing ground in these place points, and this kind of really shows you like how teams have grown or shrunk throughout it. Cerro Largo, this is a team that was consistently in the top flight. You can see here 7 seasons. Now they've spent 3 seasons in down below. Oh, we've had 10 seasons. Sorry. This is like 10 seasons in. Anyways, Phoenix, they spent what? 1 season down there, it's like they're already getting cut off. These are the teams now that you're like, okay, these are like the up and down teams. You got Racing, Tacuarembó, Miramar Misiones, like Deportivo, Rampla. It's like these are the teams that you see kind of go up and down a little bit here and there. Kind of like Racing does so. Really kind of these 4. Miramar Misiones is climbing because you can see that they spent 6 years, but they've now done 4 years in there. So if you give them a couple more years, they're going to start climbing above Tacuarembó and Racing, but they're not quite there yet because of the earlier years that they've had. Now later on, the last few seasons, they've been able to stay up and actually be a solidly mid-table team. And then going down through Cerrito, they were a team that like popped up. They were able to hold on for a couple seasons, as you can see, 3 seasons, and then get thrown back down. Now we're going into like the consistent teams that are like always kind of down there. Maybe they've gone up once or twice, but largely no. Or they're like a top table second division side. Rentistas, Juventud, Villa Española has been actually remarkably good. Cologne and Villa Española, and then Rocha. They've all spent a year in the top division from not being in the league at all previously. So actually, my bad, Villa Española. So you got all these teams here, that are kind of like they've popped up maybe once or twice, but they're largely like a top half or like playoff promotion type team. I will say is that like Atenas de San Carlos in Sudamerica, you will always find them in like just mid-table or like maybe just making the playoffs in the second tier. Atenas had that 1 year where they weren't in, but they obviously got bounced. Uruguay, these are the teams now that are like, okay, these guys either get relegated or they're like pretty new teams. They have not even like really made it through the second division all that much. Uruguay, Montevideo, they popped up once, but they've largely been pretty average in the second division. Colón de Montevideo, same thing. Like one time they popped up, but largely average. Albion, largely average, if not relegated. Rocha, they're still such a new team. They're really, really like brand new. This is their first tier side in the top flight, and they've been there 7 years. I gotta be honest, I gotta put a little more respect on them. 7 years is pretty decent. But Plaza Colonia, I mean, a lot of the points that they got, it's heavy lifting because they got 2 years in the the top flight, but they've been relegated for a number of years now. Villa Teresa, like Espanyol, Oriental de La Paz, like all these teams they bounce around. They're not ever like really that threatening. Basañez is very, very new, 4 years in. Like that's still a very new side to the second division. You got these other teams like La Luz, Durazno, Potencia was only there for 3 seasons but got bounced. They've not even returned since getting bounced. So you start getting drifting away. Bella Vista, again, first year of the save, the first season of the save, they put up the worst amount of points in the second division in the entire history of this decade of seasons in Uruguay. They put up the worst amount of points in a single season, and they've never been back. So sorry if you're a Bella Vista fan down in down there. I am sorry to say that, but you put up one of the worst records I've seen. Just is what it is. So you can see me here, Pablo Acuña, Pablo Acuña. Here we go. There we go. Just increase it a little bit. There we go. And yeah, so like, I mean, won a first division. We got a promotion, 7 years now in the first division, as with Cerro and River Plate. I got a, head coach of the year. And of course, the first year I was in the save, I got fired at Albion. And luckily, Miramar Misiones at the time, when I picked them up, they were battling relegation. They were not that good of a side. And I was able to pick them up and then take them to the promised land. And to this day, like kind of the foundation of that I was able to build in those 2 years, I got them promoted. They got relegated. I'll just show you here. Okay, so as you can see, Albion, in the first year was here when I got hit with them, and they were not that good. They got saved by the person who came in after me. I might have gotten them relegated by the time, likely. But I was able to pick up Miramar Misiones at the end of the year and just narrowly keep them from relegation. You can see Oriental de La Paz and Bella Vista both went down. And then when I picked them up, I immediately, first year, took them around here. Second year, got them, won the whole thing. And then that's when I went on to Cerro. But just looking at Miramar Misiones from here, I mean, they got bounced back down after 1 year, which I'm not surprised. They did not have the financial might to really keep up. But, then they hit a playoff spot, finally got promoted through the playoffs. And then there they go. They finally got over the hump and they were able to get over. And it seems as though that's kind of you just got to take a big swing, because the teams that they show up and they stay up, like Progresso here, they won the league. They've been here ever since, right? There is a method to get through this. Phoenix have not found it yet. I mean, they had 2 bad seasons. They got bounced. They got back promoted. They got back to bounce back down again. They're part of that cycle. They've got, they're back in kind of the washing machine of promotion relegation, and they're hunting for it. Cerro Largo's in the same spot here now. So they're, they just got bounced back down. As you can see, oh no, they stayed up actually. My bad. Deportivo Maldonado and Phoenix did. But Cerrito had it 3 years. They had it 3 years, then they got bounced back down. Look where they are now. So it's possible. We are seeing a lot of teams go up, teams go down, teams go up, teams go down. We're seeing a lot of that, but it's possible. It's totally possible. And Rampla Juniors had it. They had a really, really, really strong season. To get 9th as a newly promoted team in this division is extremely difficult. And they had the sophomore syndrome, so they went right back down. But I mean, man, Rentistas, Plaza Colonia, La Luz, man, yeah, it's honestly, it's been very, very fun this whole decade of playing. Let's just do like a little trip down memory lane. Seasonal best 11s. I've been, putting these together. Back in 2023, I mean, who cares about these? The only player that I actually cared about was Christian Franco. He was very, very good. And I got to be honest, like he just scored every single shot possible, but the rest of the team stunk and I could not care less. Mauro Cacci, I couldn't make work at all. Sure enough, he scores against me every time I play against him. So, whatever. Nicolas Guerin, do you remember Thiago Schivuli? Federico Alonso, he won it twice for us. Agustin Peralta Bauer, what an unbelievably good player. Diego Nunez was great. Matias Pintos, Yepes, Facundo Silveira, Alex Panoni, which was an absolute godsend. Dominated. He was so much better than the rest of the league. He was just crushing goals. Unbelievably great player for us at the time. Ayrton Castro, if you remember, like he popped in once in a while, getting on the left side. Sar Labos, another one. Dennis Oliveira was also a good player. Gonzalo Decio, he scored the winner to help us win the title. Emmanuel Fuentes was huge, clutch midfielder that we had. Juan Bruna came in late that season. That was like excellent. Going over to Cerro, Dario Dennis and Jose Arbio. Of course, Brandon Yana, he's still there even to this day. Leonard Costa, same thing. Alan Saldivia, I mean, that was an unbelievable time to have that guy coming on loan. Ivan Rodriguez, oh my God, the right wing, he was killing it. Martin Rabuñal, oh my God, this guy, to this day, Rabuñal, the way that he was able to boss the midfield, come in late, score late, like just smashing the ball. It was fantastic. Really enjoyed it. Rodrigo Marin, the way he was able to run that the left side. Leandro Mendez, again, and also Mariano Peralta Bauer and Ignacio Pereira. We had times we had like these, we like found, the way to put the Rubik's Cube together. And we had like a front two or a front three that were like actually pretty solid, and we were able to put it together. And 2026 to 2029. I mean, if you look at our 2026, so we started hot. We had a really, really hot year. But that was kind of the dissolution of the team prior. That was kind of like the last year that team was put back together. But I mean, just steady progression up. They've had now like kind of steady progression back down, and then like they now kind of tick back up. But very like interesting, just like the able to hold it all together. Alejo Maselli, another great player. Carlos Gomez, he's still at that club playing. Mauro Brasil's on my team now at River Plate. He became a staple at one point. Samuel Carriaga, he's still playing at Cerro. Unbelievably good player. Andres Ferrari, Leandro Mendez. Yeah, I mean, Martin Rabuñal, fans player of the year. And and then just kind of wrapping this up for River Plate. Tiniglini, Adriel is now becoming probably one of the best goalkeepers we've had. He will be the best goalkeeper we've had thus far, I'm sure, by the end of 2033. Because he's still our first choice. So, for sure. And then, Thiago Gaeto, he's no longer there. Santiago Ostalaza, he's absolutely, again, have to say, I cannot believe that he is like a nailed-in starter for sure. He just doesn't have bad games. I don't know. Juan Pablo Reyes, probably the best right back we've had. Full stop. He loves playing for us. Loves it. Felipe Mata as well, center back, unbelievably good. Cliver Moreno, Mario Alvarez is, he left us. He probably would be continuously like dominating that position, but it is what it is. Carlos Diaz stepped in for Mario Alvarez once he left, which was fantastic. Matias Alfonso, I mean, he kind of aged out. It is what it is. We picked up Facundo Zabala, who's an older man. Whatever. Carlos Mata, full stop. Best striker we've ever had. It's not close. Like, there's no debate on that one. Yeah, I mean, look at these guys. Carlos La Rosa, this last season, I can't believe that, like, he made that front three, Mata, Soria, and La Rosa. Like, the three of them, it became like an actual lethal fighting force that we could use on the offense. Carlos Mata, obviously. Ezequiel Gonzalez, oh my God, he went off on that one season. Didn't quite recreate the magic in the second season, because once we put it, Carlos La Rosa was actually like the final fit, because 2031 felt as though we were kind of fighting a little bit upstream, but Ezequiel Gonzalez was able to poke through and get the goal that was needed at the time. But I mean, once we had Carlos La Rosa, it just clicked, and it was like, this is the team. We're now dominating. We can now attack with venom. Yeah, it was so good. So good. But yeah, I just wanted to do like a little recap of what we have seen over the years, just to see what's going on. I mean, like, again, just looking at these smallest, Medina, Martin Varini, he's the defensive sporting coach, Capucho and Felipe de la Riva, the Wanderers coaches. Carlos Kenobi is currently Peñarol. Diego Aguirre was at Peñarol. The Emiliano Alfaro owns the cup right now. He's the only guy with 2 wins. Mario Schlafmitz, we'll go with that. Just won it. Victor Pires, he was at Cerrito when they won it. Like, that was like genuinely a huge shock. I could not believe. It is what it is. I gotta say is Alejandro Cicero, he's probably the most effective foreign manager right now. Everybody else is pretty much like, there's actually no other good foreign managers in Uruguay in this save right now. You got Diego Reyes. I mean, what is he doing right now? Liverpool FC. I mean, he hasn't been able to. He hasn't dropped Liverpool FC. Like, they're not a worse team, so I don't want to say he's like a bad coach. He's holding up right now. He's just not won anything so far. So he's definitely remained to be seen, the Chilean. But Esteban Gonzalez, I mean, he's at Cerro. They're kind of doing the same thing. So I don't think that he's like made them better or worse. Rizzo retired. He got fired. And that's pretty much it. You look at Jose Schaefer, got fired, just never returned to the country. And then Pablo Marini, the other Argentine, yeah, he bopped around quite a few times. I think it was with Tacuarembó, and I think he got fired from Montevideo City from the very, very beginning. But yeah. I mean, it's been, honestly, this has been like a ton of fun. Look at these head coach of the year awards: Martin Varini with 3, Alexander Medina. If you're at Nacional, you're expected to win the title. If you win the title, even like somewhat, you can win that trophy. Martin Beltran, who's he with? Racing. He's got it twice. Second division head coach of the year. So he's definitely got something under his, in his bag for sure. Ignacio Paez, he was at Cerro for a long time, but he was somewhere else before that. I can't remember, but he's abroad now. Where's my guy? We have a second division coach of the year, right? Yeah, we do. We do. Where am I? It's like a whole bunch of us who just like won at once. Yeah, but yeah, that's okay. I'm actually done. But yeah, just wanted to kind of show what has been cooking under the table. It's been a decade now. It's been a decade into this game, and this is kind of the history of what we've been doing. So Again, I'm kind of just keeping tabs of things as they go. All these head coaches here, they've all held a job at some point within Uruguay, and just checking in on them, see how they're doing, whatever. Let's just look, who is the best retired coach? The best coach that's retired so far. 24, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 32, 30. All right, these are all the guys that have retired so far. Okay, we get a couple. Okay, Alvaro Recoba. Okay, did one season. He won the Super Cup. He actually got fired from Nacional, and that's when we started the Alexander Medina era. Ariel de Armas. He retired somewhat recently, a couple years ago. He won. Oh, this is with Wanderers, I think, or Danubio. I want to say it was Danubio. Hold on. De Armas. Okay, so he was with Wanderers and won a Super Cup. And then Alberto Quintela, he won a Uruguayan Cup. Where are you, Quintela? Oh, with Danubio. Man, that's a decent win with Danubio. They're like a mid-table side, so yeah. Quite a few promotion relegation with Marini, Luis Gonzalez as well. Eduardo Espinal, he was at Racing Club de Montevideo, the ever promotion relegation team. Luis Gonzalez was Tacuarembó, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Tacuarembó. Yep. Anyways, okay.